Hello everybody, welcome to GoTarryn TV today. It's episode 533. I'm Tarryn, the traveling trainer out of Atlanta, Georgia with GoTarryn Personal Training. And we've got a very special treat for you today because in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be having a brand new guest for the very first time here on GoTarryn TV, also in the greater Atlanta area, Ms. Marla-Deen Brooks of Marla-Deen Fit. So hang tight because she's going to be here. I'm going to ask Marla-Deen about her fitness philosophy and everything that she's doing. She does a lot, and you're going to find that out here in just a couple of minutes. So I'm excited to talk to her. And again, folks, if you get a chance, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to keep up with all of my video interviews with all of my wonderful guests. And please make sure to go ahead and like this video and comment on it if you have any questions of Marla-Deen. And let us know what you thought of today's video interview. And folks, again, like I said, you know my mantra. GoTarryn Personal Training is your time, your investment, and your life. And when we come back here momentarily, we're going to have Marla-Deen Brooks of Marla-Deen Fit. Hello folks, we're back. Welcome to GoTarryn TV. It's episode 533, and for the very first time, side by side, we're welcoming here on our show Marla-Deen Brooks from Marla-Deen Fit, also known as MDF, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Marla-Deen, how are you doing today?
I'm great today, Tarryn. Thank you.
Thank you, and I really appreciate you coming on the show. Again, we're going to talk about what is Marla-Deen Fit, a.k.a. MDF. For the folks out there who don't know, and she's going to be telling us a little bit more detail, Marla-Deen is a wife, a mother of 3 boys, a blogger, a retired attorney, a group fitness instructor, and last and certainly not least, this is my favorite, health and fitness nerd. And so to say all that without catching my breath is very difficult because that is a lot. And I'm just very interested and intrigued to ask you about each and every one of these and about your life. First and foremost, though, too, let's say hi and give a shout-out to Rick Howington from Tech Advocate Solutions. He's the one that hooked us up. So thank you, Rick, if you're watching out there. Rick spoke very highly of you, Marla-Deen. So Marla-Deen, again, welcome. Please, if you would, tell the folks out there a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you grew up, and how you ended up here.
Well, if you hear me, you can probably tell I'm from South Georgia because I still have my accent. I've tried for years to get rid of it. But
No, I like it. Where in South Georgia, Marla-Deen?
a tiny town called Hazelhurst in the southeast. So
Southeast Hazelhurst. I'll be honest, I have not heard of
Never.
Hazelhurst, Georgia. I know Hazelhurst, Mississippi, but never heard of a Hazelhurst, Georgia. I'll be honest with you.
Hazelhurst, Georgia, believe it or not. So,
Interesting. I'm going to look that up when we're finished here. That is interesting.
yep, lovely small town. So I'm a small town girl.
I love it. Wow. And then, so yeah, how did you end up in the greater Atlanta area? You know, talk us through growing up and transitioning and then that journey, please.
I went to the University of Georgia and then from there went to law school at Mercer in Macon.
Oh, great. Yes.
And yeah, so it was actually when I was in law school, my main stress relief was running and exercising and joining a gym there. So I think I was there so much they finally said, you need to start teaching classes. So during law school, that's kind of where this whole fitness journey started, was years ago back in law school in Macon. And so graduated from law school, clerked there a year, met my husband and his job. He's also a lawyer. He was at the University of Georgia Law School, so we kind of had that little distance relationship, and then got married and landed here in Atlanta. So
wow, awesome. And how long have you guys been married for now?
23 years.
That
I'm
is
telling
excellent.
you how old I am there. So
Well, if I wouldn't have asked you, I would have thought you got married when you were like 10 years old looking at you. So that's amazing. You are a testament that fitness keeps us youthful and young, that's for sure.
I'm working on it.
That's awesome. I love it. And so you ended up in Atlanta, and then like you said, you're a mother of three boys. Is that correct?
A lot of testosterone in my house, no pink in my house.
And what are their names if they're watching right now?
I have a junior at the University of Georgia named Dean.
Excellent.
Named after his mom.
Cool. Nice.
Then I have a senior in high school named Smith. And my 9th grader's real name is John Thomas, but somehow he's got to carry the name Tebow. So he's known by his name is Tebow. Yeah.
That's cool. And I assume, I'm making an assumption, but I bet I'll be right here. You and your husband lead a pretty good fitness lifestyle for the three boys?
Yes,
That goes
we're
without
very
saying.
active, always. In fact, it's kind of one of those things. If you go on vacation, I'm fine to sit with a book. Nobody else is. We have to have active vacations and lots going on at all times, which is, I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's great. Are they into any sports, the boys?
Sport. My one in college now just kind of plays basketball on his own, but I have two football players and two wrestlers and a lacrosse player. We spent many years playing baseball, tennis, you name it, a little bit of everything.
Wow, wow, absolutely. And then what about your husband and yourself? What do you guys do for activity and fun?
He's gotten into swimming lately. He's always been active, worked out. Neither one of us run just as much as we used to. When we were younger, we would run together a lot. But he plays golf, he swims, he works out.
Good.
So, yeah.
Very, very good. Good example. Again, that's great. I like to hear that. I also like, and I mentioned this a couple of minutes ago, what you said, that you consider yourself a, quote, fitness nerd. Straight from your website, I like what it says that, quote, health needs to be a choice and a priority. And you actually have a sticky note on your computer, and it says, don't just prioritize your schedule, but schedule your priorities. That's very powerful. How did you come up with that, too? I like that. It's really good.
Well, it's I take your workouts or your fitness, like everything else, you have to make time for it. And I, like everybody else, I can get busy and put that on the bottom burner, especially moms out there. I think it's more important to take care of everybody else but yourself. But if you pencil it in on your calendar like everything else and make it a priority, it will become a priority. And I've just kind of lived that little mantra for years and years. I think even when I was working full-time, not in the fitness business, I'd get up at 5:30 and get my workout in before going to work, and just to have a better day, a healthier day.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Marla-Deen. Like, for myself, I got it right here, in fact. Like, my calendar has all of my workouts scheduled. I show it to my clients. I'm the same thing. Like, I tell them, like you just said, if you put it on your calendar and you treat it like an important meeting, and that for any business, like, even in law, if you have a client to talk to on the phone at that time, then you set that as a priority, like you said. Very powerful word right there. That's tremendous. And now let's get into the website, which, by the way, looks fantastic. I think that Rick
Rick.
Yeah, absolutely. They do a wonderful job with the website. Very beautiful. We're going to get that out for the folks so they can grab a pen and paper here, and we'll have that. But your website's just fully loaded with all the information about you and about what you do with MDF. So first question about that. And again, there's a lot that you do on it, but let's talk about your written blogs on your website. And how long have you been doing written blogs, Marla-Deen, and how did you get into doing that as well?
Well, it initially started, I have a private, part of what I do is run a boot camp. It started from some women asking me if I would meet them in the park and take them through workouts. And it kind of evolved into, I've been doing it now for about 12 years. And I may have 6 women, I may have 30 women.
Wow.
Do it. I do different sessions throughout the year, and I've loved it. It just keeps me going. So right now it's 3 days a week, and it initially I started the website as a way to stay in touch with these clients and put my schedules on the website so that people would know where to find me, what park I was in, where we were meeting. And it started, just evolved from there. I would have people ask me questions, kind of fitness or health related questions. So I'm the nerd that I am, would go do all the research, and then I'd write an article about it. And I have a journalism background, so I do love writing, and I like being creative. So I've kind of taken it a step further, and I've started writing about more lifestyle, healthy living, tips not only on exercise, but healthy recipes, how to shop, just tips on well-being, how to get rest, how to de-stress, even funny family stories that people can relate to that kind of are geared toward how we live our life and how we try to live it in our best way to be our healthiest.
That's really cool, Marla-Deen. And not to go off at such a tangent, but before we recorded last week when you and I spoke for the very first time on the telephone, just remembered, too, that you also trained and taught at the Family Life Center in Second Ponce de Leon Baptist Church, of course, the fitness center that Rick was referring to. So I guess, I was going to ask you about that. Like in that area, I know that's in Buckhead. You are right now currently teaching at the Carl Sanders YMCA. Is that correct? I think that's what. And what classes do you teach there?
I teach a body sculpt class, which is weights and resistance,
Cool.
and I also teach what we label as a heat class. It's an interval training class where we'll do cardio intervals mixed with some weight and resistance and body resistance, basically just to get your heart rate up with the interval trainings and do some strength work. So we may do some Tabatas, we may do jump squats, we may do push-ups. I make it different every class, and it's a lot of fun. That's where a lot of my creativity comes to, get some good music on, and we just mix it up.
That's great. I mean, you keep a very busy schedule with that, the boot camps, and everything else you're doing. And then back to the website as well. Another aspect is books, too. I think that you've done a couple of books. Let me ask you, what was the first book that you had written? And then let's talk about the journey of writing those books, please.
Well, I'm still trying to perfect that. That's kind of been a new avenue for me. My first book was an ebook on my kind of favorite soups and salads that I have presented on the website, and I just kind of compiled those in. And then the next one I did was kind of what I do when I'm trying to eat super clean. I have about 5 different things, 5 different times a day. And that book is just kind of those top things that I go to, or I would tell nutrition clients to go to eat clean and eat healthy if they were trying to get back on track. I'm not a huge proponent of detoxes and cleanses unless they are food geared and clean eating geared. And that was kind of an answer to a couple of clients who wanted me to kind of compile what I eat when I'm trying to eat good, eat healthy, which I always try to, but I am human and I love to eat, so I love food. Just honestly.
I've got my vices, believe me. Mine is sweets.
I'm right there with you.
I love it. Marla-Deen, take us through a little bit about some of these healthy recipes, because they're right on your website. When the folks go on your website, do you have any favorites? Is there anything that when you're in the kitchen, we always can figure, oh, she's definitely going to be using this. Is there anything that you like specifically when you're eating?
I guess I'm a huge fan of kind of the Mediterranean style diet, and
Very
that
healthy.
Started back years ago. Being from the South, we ate a lot of fried foods, a lot of fresh vegetables, but maybe it wasn't always prepared the healthiest. And then my father, when he was 53, suffered a massive heart attack. So we really had to change the way the food was prepared in our house. So we brought in a lot of olive oil and a lot of garlic. And just a lot of fresh, unprocessed foods. And that's what I try to gear everything around. I always say, if it doesn't have a mother, you shouldn't eat it. So like Cheetos don't have a mother, so you really shouldn't be eating those Cheetos.
I could see a lot of clients out there justifying and saying, no, this small Cheetos bag, the big bag, it's its mother right here. This is where it came from.
That way. I might have to change that a little bit. Yeah.
They'll find some way. That's great. I love it. That's terrific, Marla-Deen. Now, let me ask you about this, too. Let's go off on this and talk about other things that you do. Again, you keep yourself extremely busy. You're probably the only person I've met that works 8 days a week with everything that you're doing. So let's talk about events first and speaking opportunities. What is going on with that? Do you like to do the events and speaking in front of groups? Is this something that you look forward to doing?
I love to do it. I don't do it that often. It's not something that I do regularly, but I have been asked to come to speak at groups. I've been to garden clubs. I've been to Bible studies. I've been to Girl Scout groups. I've been to school groups and talked about anything from fixing healthy breakfast, food on the run, how to incorporate exercise into your busy life, whatever topic somebody wants to hear about, I can come try to address it. And I love people. I love meeting people. I'm unfortunately not very shy in front of a crowd, so I don't mind speaking in front of people. I enjoy it. So that's kind of just a little thing on the side that I always love to be available for.
Yeah, that's excellent. Excellent. How about talk about when someone meets you for the first time and they've never done any research on your website, they don't know anything about Marla-Deen Fit. What can they expect when they're looking to, say, work out with you one-on-one in personal training or in your studio?
Well, I'm not going to be a yeller or a screamer, and I'm not going to have a whistle. I really kind of want to talk about what the client wants, what they want to get out of a workout,
Yep.
if they have any injuries, if they, whatever, we want it to be geared toward their current fitness level. I can't go in and do a high-intensity interval workout with someone who's coming off an injury, or maybe just a young mom who has been engulfed in motherhood and then hadn't had time to get out and work out like she wants to. So you want to start kind of where they are, where it is, and towards where you want to be and what those goals are. And one thing I feel a little more comfortable now, I've recently received a nutrition certification. So whereas clients used to ask me about nutrition, I would be like, well, I'm not really qualified to talk about that. I can tell you my experience. But now I've done some training and received the certification there. So I do like to offer those types of healthy tips, if that comes up.
Excellent. No, I like that. That's great. And then if you can't physically meet them in a tangible way, there is another way, virtually, that you do virtual coaching. Can you tell us, and spend a few minutes, Marla-Deen, tell us about your virtual coaching program that you have available?
Well, I usually gear it towards, again, what the client wants. I've done some just basic phone call coaching, 30 minutes, where they just kind of maybe want to go over what they've been eating, how they can tweak their menus or tweak their meals or tweak their workouts. I've done written plans for people who are not local, and we will just go back and forth on email. I've prepared meal plans, or I had a particular client. He was busy working. He didn't cook. So he went through the restaurants around him and gave me links to the menus so I could go pick and choose the healthiest options on those menus for him. So that's just an example. Basically, whatever the client wants, I try to. And if I can't, and it's an answer I don't know, or if I'm not qualified, I usually will start doing the research to find someone and hook them up.
Excellent. Yeah, I like that. That's very well done. A few more questions here, Marla-Deen. Let me ask you, in the entire aspect of your health and fitness philosophy, what do you find most rewarding at the end of the day after you're done with working with clients, doing groups, doing yoga, doing your fusion, everything that you're doing, in workouts? What is the thing that you just come home and you just feel so much rewarded about?
Well, I'm a huge homebody, so I do love being at home, and I love cooking for my family.
Yes.
And if they love the meal, it just warms my heart. But as far as my business part of it, I just am so happy if I get a text or an email from somebody who has maybe tried a recipe and they loved it, their family loved it, or was inspired by maybe reading something on my blog and it made them feel better, or maybe they've tried one of my tips, or even they just came to one of my classes and said that it just gave them a boost for the day. I know I'm such a nerd, but that just makes me so happy to be able to make someone else feel good.
That's cool.
And
nice.
that sounds so corny. I know that sounds so corny, but it really is true.
Absolutely. I believe you. I mean, you're speaking right from the heart, and I can agree with what you just said, too. Nothing better than when a client texts or emails me that they did a new workout that they were really happy because it made them feel good, and they're just feeling more healthy, because that's what it's all about. Marla-Deen, let me ask you this. Other questions here about goal setting. So what do you specifically find in the first, rest of the year, next 6 months, short-term goals? What do you have planned going on for the end of the year into the beginning of the year? And then second part of the question, what do you find long-term range for 5, 10, 20 years down the line from now?
That is an interesting question. Short-term, I think coming into the holidays, I have really started to try to grasp the whole mentality of just enjoying the moment, enjoying the day. making the connections with my family and friends and slowing down a little bit. And having one home from college and having two teenagers, they are going in so many different directions. So I've really learned to appreciate when we are all together. And if the house is a wreck or if things aren't just perfect, that's just fine with me. I just kind of really want to focus on the next few months on just enjoying this time of year.
I like that. Excellent. And then what about long range from here? Where do you envision MDF from here on out?
To write some more on my blog, and I would love to work on growing that part of my business. I would love to do some more ebooks, and a huge dream would be to have one turn into a hard book. Who knows? And I love what I do. I keep thinking I might need to get, quote, a real job, now that I'm getting a little bit older, but I think I'm just going to keep on keeping on, and as long as I can, as long as I continue to enjoy it. And this business, there is stuff out there every single day to learn. It gets old. There's always new research. There's new workouts. Everything is evolving and moving and changing. So I think it keeps us on our toes.
Absolutely.
So we can't let ourselves get stale. And I'm looking forward to kind of gearing towards more workouts geared towards females that are a little bit older, as I am. So a little more yoga type classes, fusion type classes. I'm really enjoying those, and I want to explore doing some more of those type workouts.
Excellent. Very, very good, Marla-Deen. Well, listen, I have enjoyed speaking with you. Before we let you go, if you don't mind, if anybody out there wants more information about MDF, about you, about contacting you, your website, social media, any ways to contact you, please, let's go ahead and tell the folks what's the best way they can learn more about Marla-Deen Fit.
Well, they can go to marladeenfit.com, and you can find ways to follow me there on Instagram. You can find my Facebook page there. You can find a contact form. You can email me. I am always available and would love to answer any questions or speak with anybody.
Wonderful. Very good. Well, you are very well spoken, Marla-Deen. Like I said, I've enjoyed this time. This 20 minutes has flown by very fast, as I predicted it would. I knew that it would go by really quickly. Yes, 20 minutes from the time that we started recording. So that felt like 2 minutes for me. So that was good.
I told you I could keep talking about this for a while now.
And I love it, and that's why I'm going to ask you to come back on in the very near future and do this again, because I always like to have very good, intellectual, smart guests like you who are very enthusiastic coming back on to talk more about fitness and health. And let's pick a topic out next time. Maybe we could do it on one of the books, on one of the recipes that you're doing, on a blog that you've written, and go from there. Because, again, I've truly enjoyed speaking with you, and I definitely want to have you back on here in the very near future, Marla-Deen.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. And keep doing the great work you're doing. Again, I love what you said. One more time, don't just prioritize your schedule, but schedule your priorities. That's very, very, very powerful and true. So again, Marla-Deen, thank you so much for your time again. And folks who are watching, as we fade to black, here comes her contact information one more time in case you missed it. Grab a pen and paper and take that down. Marla-Deen, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much again for being on GoTarryn TV.
Thank you.
My pleasure.